two stories bring us to our discussion, the fact that for many, many businesses across Kenya, they continue to invest and try to expand to bring better services and, of course, work better with their audiences, their customers, and their stakeholders. But these businesses can only exist if the environment is right in both security and, of course, a way that enables them be able to get to their people effectively. To discuss, well, what this means exactly, we have with us at our city center studios Joseph Kagodi, who is the chair of the Community Policing Initiative. He is the national chair and is an expert in governance right across Kenya, right across the region for a very, very long time. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We want to start off at the point that we have been in a long electioneering period for the last 6 months. With the swearing in of President Uhuru Kenyatta, this now means that Kenyans have to get back to the grind, to start working, get back to work. But, well, people seem to feel that security has been a problem. What do we need to do to start to say that our businesses are safe, that we will be able to function in the correct way?
Thank you, Peter. I think you need to bring the citizens to some speed.
Yes.
We've been going through a transition. Mm-hmm. The transition is always very, very difficult. We have had transitions for the MCAs, members of parliament, women reps, senators, governors, mm-hmm. the sixth election, because there were 6.
Yes.
The one for the president. Transition, it has extended a little more, and it was a bit bumpy to the extent of the presidency. All these will reach a level where it starts moving out. So we need to ask the citizens, be a bit patient also with our politicians. Some of them, sometimes they can oscillate very fast. Others are likely to go the normal way in a manner that they don't disrupt life and property, security, and so forth. So it's a transition, and we need to understand it. I've gone through these kind of transitions in every election. Some of them, like 2007, was a bit too hectic. This one, in certain parts, not the whole country, in certain parts, I think 5 counties or so, it was a bit difficult, depending on the kind of leadership the political head who is most influential in that particular area is. And we need to understand that and ask particularly those who are in charge of the airwaves, the media, to also note the consequences can be very heavy if they release any information that comes without assessing correctly. So we need a bit of patience. Otherwise, for now, we are almost through that particular bumpy period, so that we now get back to our normal lives. In majority of the counties, life is almost back to normal. It's being left, you'll get quite a bit, unfortunately, of some who keep on saying that the country is divided, the country is divided. If you went to a lot of these counties, they will not know what you are talking about, because they think life should be able to continue the way it is. So that in January, the students are back to education, farmers are back to their farms, and we will be left with a few areas where maybe the youth will be hard here and there, with a bit of confrontation because of this activity or the other activity, but it's not widespread. And even the division they are talking about is not widespread.
Yes.
Let's have less of the ones who are talking of so-called dialogue. And we know that word dialogue. It has ended up, sometimes it comes to areas which are very, very tricky, mm-hmm. Particularly.
Yes.
And it's historical. You can all remember Honorable Chatora,
yes.
who was saying, wapatie your dialogue.
Yes.
It has been there. You get 20,000 students.
Yes.
In fact, in Nairobi,
yes.
They want dialogue with the Vice Chancellor.
Yes.
If you look at it that way, you now start understanding what it means even 2013, where no dialogue, no peace. So it's an upheaval which we normally go through in the Republic of Kenya because of our good democratic space.
As we continue to grow as a nation and continue to go forward, businesses continue to be affected by these, well, every 5 years when we have the ups and downs. What, in your opinion, are the steps that we need to start to take to even out these ups and downs so that we can start to say that, like Germany, which held an election and hosted huge conferences and marathons on the same day, how will we get to that level of, maybe, for example, maturity in politics?
Thank you. I've been watching the scenario here, and because of the current assignment that I have with a few of 11 of my colleagues, we are 12. We are charged with the role of mobilizing the citizens, crusading the citizens to take over security at their level as an autonomous group under the Nyumbakumi initiative.
Yes.
And we've come to discover two things are lacking in the country. We do not have clearly stipulated duties and responsibilities of citizens.
Yes.
If you came to the studio where I'm in INM, I had prepared extracts from on that particular subject, duties and responsibilities of citizens, and number two, nationhood building. Yes. They are not there in our constitution, they are not there in the law, they are not there in the practice. Yes. That's why you get, in other countries, you cannot be, nobody can imagine you can throw a stone to police, or you can burn a police vehicle, or you can destroy the property of any citizen. So what is happening is this. We are swimming in a very heavy level of ignorance. Two, we need to revisit the duties and responsibilities. We up our national building as a practice, so that people start obeying by the laws, where the law defines your boundary. It defines between you and me, between me and my government, between my government and other institutions who comprise that government, so that once we now say the election is 50%, you are the MCA, you are the MP, if you have 50%, or you are this and that, and you obey by that, so that there is a loser, there is a winner. Yes. The minute I have had one MCA, and I praise him from Kajiado, he was defeated by 2 votes. He stood up, greeted his worthy opponent, and said, "You're beaten me, we'll meet in the next round." 2 votes. So nobody said, let's then share, let's do this. There is a problem. Now, the areas that we seem to have a bit of a problem, they are defined, not the entire country. Even now, it's not the whole country which has a bit of that challenge. Yes. And every 5 years, we see that oscillation of that problem. We'll go depending on the leadership of that area, which is dissatisfied, and we continue sealing the loopholes. Like, I'm very, very happy with the manner we have sealed the loopholes on the election laws. And we continue on that. Let's continue sealing, let's continue encouraging, so that the citizens now can start coming to the level of obeying the laws of the land. Yes. And it is that makes a difference between a civilized society and an uncivilized society. Okay. So I'm not worried, Peter. Yes. All we need to do is educate our people, and we also have a media which now slows down in pronouncing any illegality which comes to the media, because the airwaves, the media waves, they are the national assets. You cannot therefore promote anything which is illegal on a national asset. And that's why Communication Authority of Kenya, sometimes I start feeling, maybe I'm becoming of the older generation, but I would like to see people who obey the law. Once you obey the law, then you start reducing the damage to life and property and the irritation that we are getting in the country.
Yes. Going forward, because we have seen that the opposition seems to indicate that it might continue to try to press on, especially with the democratic space that we enjoy currently. What are the key things that we need to do to ensure first that we protect lives and property, that people start to take responsibility for their businesses, for their actions, for their own well-being at the grassroots, especially in an empowered and knowledgeable way?
I've been wishing that we have a strong government and very strong, loyal opposition to that government. Loyal opposition such that they feel very pained if because of their pronouncement we lose a life, we damage property. Loyal opposition. And we recognize that opposition is necessary. Government is necessary. The minute the difference between the winner and the loser is so close, and then they start now a fight, and they go to the judiciary, then you get some not obeying the ruling of the court. Grabbing is all right, but not mobilizing the citizens against the ruling of the court or demonstrations which are talking about rigging or go slow. We have had a good example in Tanzania here. I remember when Honorable Magufuli did win, there was an announcement. Then somebody said, I don't know whether it is our local TV or a Tanzanian TV, they said, no, it's rigging, he did not win. The media in that country said, no. Don't confuse the Tanzanians. Go back to your clips, you see it. Don't confuse the Tanzanians. If you are aggrieved, go to court. But mobilizing the citizens, walifanya jukumu yao, that's what they were saying. I have seen it. I saw it also. Why I'm talking about the media, because of the power I know. It's a fourth estate, it's a fourth beacon. Any country's image, I believe it, it's the image and the respect the country has is by and large determined by the quality and the quantity of the kind of media they have. So what we see now, if we have the legislature, both national as well as county, we have the executive, both national and county, we have the judiciary, all working together, and then we have a media which is strong, pinning down anybody who is not for Wajiko, you will find the country stabilizing very, very fast. But the minute you see a media, I was with the correspondents, nearly 100 of them in Naivasha for 3 days. And one question was asked by their professor, what contribution do you think the media made? They said, by and large, they exacerbated the divisions that we are seeing in the country. They are the ones who are talking. We had invited the observers from the training institutions of the media. We had invited the gurus, like Mr. Joe Kadhi. And we had invited also other lecturers from outside, and the correspondents were talking, and I respected them because of their frankness. But they said, our editors need also to be talked to so that they are able to help the moderation. Kindly, let's listen to them, moderate, and we saw them doing it in 2013 when they were, I think, introduced the Okoa Kenya or something. Then they said it will not be live. Matukano, parents are having problems, teachers having problems, where any media house, particularly on the television, they bring quarreling, which is of very unfortunate nature, to our houses. And some of course, most of my friends say they switch it off. But when you switch it off, you leave it with your children who do not know what to do. Because what they are taught at the Sunday school, or the primary school, or they are taught by the parents, then you see it opposite when it comes to that. So I'm sorry, because I'm seeing, I am a believer in the heavy contribution of the type of media you have. Like before you are interviewing very, very able MD. That MD was talking of the way the vibrancy of the tourism is. Then I told him, I wish you told them that anytime you get what we call travel advisories, they are not meant for Kenyan market.
Yes.
You go Google even now, my viewer.
Yes.
Go Google the travel advisories between France and UK, yes. or between France and Thailand, yes. or Thailand and the US. You see that it is meant for the home country or the one giving the travel advisory.
Yes.
Where the sabotagers is where they all sit together and
yes.
announce at the same time.
Yes, very quickly, Mr. Kagode, because we are now out of time. In 30 seconds, if there was one thing that you thought that we would get right over the next 5 years so as to put this country on a path to prosperity, what would that thing be?
I come back to the role that I'm having.
Yes.
Namely, let the citizens start taking over the whole docket of security as a first line of defense.
Yes.
Let Parliament start thinking a little more seriously on defining the duties and responsibilities of citizens.
Yes.
And we are prepared to give them the way the East African countries have done, from Sudan to Ethiopia, all around. And let's promote very heavily nationhood building policy. In fact, I have even been nursing the view. If I was closer to our president, I would tell him, create a ministry, constitutional affairs, and nationhood building.
Yes.
And so that we now start building a nation, and the citizens will raise their levels of responsibilities and accountability, because that is what we require, so that at no stage should we ever see again a lorry being burnt, the worth of 80 million being burnt by an individual with just a liter or two or three of petrol. Why? So this is what I think we would do, but for us, we will continue crusading so that the citizens start coming to the center under the Nyumba Kumi initiative, Peter. And I believe in it, and I believe we should go towards that direction.
Yes, indeed, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Real insights there into governance, economy, and security, and how that Kenyans can indeed take responsibility for their own security, their own economy, and drive their lives forward into prosperity. Asante sana, sir. Joseph Kagudi, of course, is the national chair.
Thank you, Peter, for inviting me also.
Thank you for your time, sir. He is the national chair of the Community Policing Initiative. Well, we now want to bring the show